Hey, it's Interstates. I'm Alex Chambers. I'd been hearing about Mary Hunter for a few years, so when I finally emailed her and asked if I could come hear about her work, I was really excited when she wrote back saying yes, in all caps. Mary Hunter works at the Monroe County Waste Reduction District. Us lay people know it as the recycling center. To find her, you go past the trading post where you can trade household goods, and you open the door to the materials for the arts office. That's Mary's place. It's maybe a 12 by 12 room, and it's chock full of stuff. The walls are covered with handmade objects made of bottle lids, cardboard, old silverware. There's a dress made out of soda can tabs, jewelry made of glass bottles. It's kind of an art museum. And it's the tip of the iceberg in terms of what Mary accomplishes. The goal of Materials for the Arts is to divert reusable materials from the waste stream. Mary has arrangements with companies like Cook and Baxter. Both of them make medical equipment. And they send bins and bins of objects they don't need. Small bottles, tiny pliers, rubber stoppers. She takes paper, cardboard, sheets. Then she connects with nonprofits, churches, schools, and artists working on community projects who need materials. When someone gets in touch and asks for something, Mary's coworkers join in. Once they collected tons of milk jugs for an igloo-building project a school was doing. That brought me to a bigger question. When I heard about the igloo project, I wondered what happened to the milk jugs after they'd been used. I didn't get a clear answer. Odds are they did end up in recycling or a landfill. But here's the thing. It took them longer to get there. It may not save the planet. But, I don't know, Mary has interesting relationships with materials. It was good to spend time with her. I hope you agree. After the break, we'll hear from her and a couple of the guys she works with.
Public radio is radio that matters, and our sustainers keep it going strong year after year. Thank you for your support of WFIU.
I had one little old lady, the sweetest little thing, and I really messed up. I've learned better. She brought me this little tiny jewelry box, and she said, honey, she was just a little thing. She must have been 90. Probably close to that. And she said, I've got something here. Can you use this? She says, I'm going to therapy and I can't throw anything away. I said, and I just tapped her on the arm, patted her, and I said, what is it? And I opened up and it looked like little pieces of thread cut in pieces. It was brown, white, black, tan, everything you can imagine. It was full. I said, well, what is this? And she said, that's my cat's whiskers. She said, I've been trimming them for years. And I said, can you use it? I said, no, but you take that home. And I said, don't give up on me. You bring me something else because I will take something from you. I should have taken her that. I realize now how courageous that was for her to even bring that. I should have taken it. I've always been sorry about that. I haven't seen her since. I'm Mary Hunter, and I've been at this company for 34 years. It's a really neat job because you try to keep everything you can out of the landfill. Certain containers like this are good for bug fest. They can make bug catchers. Oh, yeah. So that's why I want for this one type only.
Plastic orange juice containers.
My dad fell off at the IU football stadium when they were building it. I was like 3 or 4 years old. We were so poor back then, had 5 kids. And my mom would recycle our clothing to a family that needed them. And I will never forget asking her, Mom, what are you taking these clothes over to them for? They're just rags. And that family was so glad to get those. They had 8 kids. And my mom was like that, reusing everything. And I wouldn't change being raised that way for nothing. That's ribbons and pop tabs.
Blue ribbons through pop tabs. Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
It really is.
I gather little Hot Wheel cars or little jewelry items, and I put them behind my desk. And when kids come in, little kids, they want a surprise. I want them to have a good feeling when they come to the recycling center. So I'll go out and ask them. I say, would you like a Hot Wheel? Oh, yeah. And then the parents, if they won't say thank you, like especially little boys, say thank you, say thank you. I say, if you don't say thank you, I have to kiss you. Oh, thank you. And it works every time. This is a journal made out of a cereal box. This is made from recycled glass bottles. These, I have no idea what they are.
So like plastic sheets?
Some kind of blind things. But when I had my bird cage, you can take these and weave them in a bird cage. They can't get the seeds all over the ground so much.
Wow.
So you can find use for them. I do rescue dogs. They have to be old or special needs, end-of-life type dogs. Like the ASPCA called me from Lafayette with a paw swap 4 or 5 years ago, and they asked me if I'd come and get this one dog. And it was a sad, sad thing. Electrical worker went off the road, way off the road, a metal building, hot, and he knew it was a big dog, half rotted in the front yard. They hadn't even bothered burying it. Come to find out they were fighting the dogs. 64 dogs, and they could only save like 34 of them. They were all in this big building. Some of them were stolen, they thought. They found the stuff where my dog had been tied up for a bait dog for pit bulls to chew on her. She's half English hunting hound, they think, and maybe half pit bull. They're not for sure. I took her to Ellisville and had her assessed. Madeline, mad for my dog, and she couldn't find any aggression. So before COVID, she used to go to all the nursing homes with me. I've had 8 dogs. I'm down to 2, and 2 geese,
And 2 geese.
and 2 baby squirrels. They fell 40 foot out of a tree. I'm raising them in my living room.
Really?
Yes, and they're the messiest things you've ever seen. But wild care wouldn't take them. They've got too many, and the DNR wasn't interested.
Yeah.
So I wasn't. They were 3 weeks old. Their eyes were still shut. Now they're a mess. They're all over the place. And if I don't watch it, they jump out the cage on my shirt. And I'm trying to wean them off the bottle. I'm feeding them once a day on the bottle. But they're just so funny.
Are you going to set them free? Or are you...
Oh no, they're going. I don't believe in being pets. They're going to be free.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to keep them until the spring because they don't have enough hair and stuff to.
Sure.
I'm afraid in the wintertime they couldn't do it. So I'm postponing my vacation to go down to fly to Georgia to see my cousin until I turn them loose. This is just toilet paper tubes, paper towel tubes, any kind of plastic tubes like this. Peanuts and bubble wrap and stuff, you never get too much of that. And I just keep any kinds of little bins that could be for pencils or crayons or anything like that I'll grab. Because you never know what somebody's going to use.
How do people find out about this, and how do materials come to you?
Well, Cooks has been donating to me for probably 20 years. Frame Maker has probably been donating over 30 years to me, all their mat board scraps. I get this word of mouth, or I'll go and talk to groups.
I like the fact that all the different creative ideas, like people take stuff from bottle caps to pop tabs or whatever and create many different things. So you get to see how everybody's mind works different. And I like that. My name's Joey Long. I'm the operations director for Waste Reduction District. Probably the coolest thing I think would be the Tin Man out of soup cans somebody created. Being that I like movies, so from the Oz, they done a really good job, and I would have never thought of that.
I agree with Joey, the creativity, and it's just neat to see the things that people can come up with out of items and materials that the rest of us think are just trash or recycling. Yeah. Tom McGlasson Jr., Executive Director for the Waste Reduction District. She moves things that never come to this facility. She connected person A with person B, and they were able to swap things or make a trade and get something reused that would have otherwise been recycled or disposed of.
We've had people just call and say, I need 100 long cardboard tubes, or I need this. And if they give me enough time, everyone here will look for them. Cooks gives us tons of these. They're great for water fights.
Those are giant syringes.
Yeah. And they use them for all kinds of stuff. Or if they're doing a little bit of paint, they want dye, they can come up with something. These are all the cook trays. Yeah. And they come in different sizes. And they're so heavy. One of the teachers said that they even take those and they put boiling water in for tie-dye and they didn't melt. Hilltop likes these. They put dirt in them. They give a garden kit and they put the other one on top and they put little holes with clips. They got a greenhouse. And then they've had fingertips come in containers. It hazmat. A woman worked at a lumber yard. We'll go out here where it's cooler. She worked at a lumber yard, and for years she retired from there. Used to they would have arsenic as a way to treat the lumber. She handled those all those years, and it rotted her fingertips. So when they were removed, she had to keep them till after the court case. She won.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, people leave their problems at the recycling center.
Pool noodles, I'll take them any size, any length. Some of the teachers that's got water tables, they cut these in sections, and it's a good thing for the water table, sensory tables. Some people just don't want to mess with it. They'll throw it away, and it's a shame. They can't imagine the things we can really use here. We even got a medical kit one time. They had a little bottle of medicine had cocaine in it. So Cliff Mitchell
Like
here
really old?
Oh, yeah.
That's why I had cocaine, because it was like...
Oh, yeah, it was old.
Yeah.
And the medicine case was in really good shape. Cliff Mitchell up here for the county clinic, he would always been looking for an old medicine bag. So I gave it to him. He said, "Oh, I can't take that. I'll lose my license." Yeah. So we had to call the police to get it, of course. This is what you can do with your old shorts. You can make you a bag to put your stuff in.
Oh, hey.
Isn't that funny?
That's great.
We've had several dogs left here. Really? We found one in a cage around the building here. We've got a shed with the big Gaylord boxes. And somebody walked around there, and there was this black puppy in a cage, probably 2 foot, maybe 3 foot, probably 2 by 3 foot or something. And that dog had been there so long, his legs and his hips were touching the wire. There was nowhere he wasn't touching. He couldn't move. He couldn't turn. He'd been there a long time. We finally got him out, super skinny. So Terry was here from T&T Pet Food Store. He went up and got me some special food for him and different things. And another customer was here from Martinsville. They went up and bought me some wormer for the dog. I mean, everybody pitched in. And the dog was just like this when he walked. I mean, he couldn't walk. So I called Ellen, a girl that was a Head Start teacher at the time, and she came and got the dog. And they still have the dog. It's old, but it still walks funny. This was made 20 years ago by a 5-year-old boy. His grandmother helped him. He brought that in for me. It's dryer lint. I used to take dryer lint because a laundromat would bring it down to me, bags of it. It got over too much. I had to quit. But Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts will take a cardboard egg carton and put the dryer lint in there, melt wax over it, and they're fire starters. About 8 years ago, I was here by myself on a Saturday. Well, I had one other person, I think. This woman came in. She said, "I just moved here, and where I moved from, I got snowed in all winter long. I got something to see if you want it," and this is what it was. All winter long when she was snowed in, she took junk mail, Subway wrappers, cut them into little pieces of paper, and made these chains. It's one big piece of chain. Wow. It took 2 men to lift this up.
Did it really?
Heavy. And I thought, well, when she comes back, I'm going to have the newspaper see if they'll do a story on her. I never seen her again. I built a chicken coop. It's a 10 by 20. And I only have about $300 in it. I use pallets to build everything, almost in reclaimed wood. People can do that. Yeah. We need to be more self-sufficient, more self-sustaining. We had this so full 2 days ago. It took him 45 minutes to pull it. It was so packed full of cardboard. The driver had a terrible time. We were at the cardboard baler probably 10 years ago, and I told him, I said, "You hear that?" And the guy said, "I didn't hear anything." I said, "Shut that compactor off." And they said, "I think it was a bird." I said, "No, I think it's coming from our cardboard." They got in there and pulled it out, and that was a hard thing to do. We found a little box that wasn't crushed yet, and it was completely wrapped every inch, no air getting in it at all, with duct tape. We cut it open, and it was 3 sick baby kittens.
Oh my God.
Someone threw them in there to be crushed. The animal shelter's right here. And they had to put them to sleep because they were so sick. But going to crush them.
It's like people's problems. They bring them here.
Sometimes they do. The funniest thing we ever found here, I wasn't here that day. A guy that used to work here was here. He was such a grouchy bat. He was going to retire, and he was just all the time. A woman came up, and she put this black bag on the sidewalk. And he said, "Ma'am, is that electronics?" Because you know about what it is when you hear it a lot of times when you've been here long enough. "Yes, but," he said, "it goes to hazmat. Take it to hazardous waste." She said, "Well, somebody might want to use it," and kept arguing. I finally said, "Fine, I'll take it." She got in her car and left. He put it on the car door, and he reached his hands in and started pulling it out. It was a half trash bag of used sex toys. You want to see inside our metal bin?
Yeah.
Any kind of scrap metal. You'd be surprised. I mean, we don't let anybody take anything out. If it's something like I pulled a dog cage out this morning, it was a big one. Perfect for the dog rescue.
Oh, hey.
There's no sense in wasting that stuff. That's just ridiculous.
So right now it looks like there's these a frame for like some swinging outdoor chairs.
We get a lot of those. Don't buy them. They're junk.
Good to know.
And the ones that are just regular chairs that are not recliners, they come in, I mean, all the time.
Yeah.
They don't last. They're just junk.
So if someone wanted to, if there was something someone was interested in and they weren't part of an organization, they could come ask you and you
And it
would
depend
say
on
yes or
what
no.
it is. Some of the things, if it's from a business, I have to get a thank you, probably not. But if it's regular tins and different things like that, then we would help them. I've had people come in and want these big cans so they can put concrete in them for their tent poles.
Right.
Or different things, like that, then I will help them. We all will.
So you were saying when we were earlier that you've gotten some really strange
Oh, yeah.
requests or strange...
Oh, what do you call it when they inserted the woman and open her up? You know what I'm talking about? To do the pap smears.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I made for 3 of those. For Carl Cooks, he sent me a box of them. I thought, what do you think I'm going to do with these? If I can find the picture on my computer, I'll have to get a copy for you.
Oh, that'd be great.
I painted him different colors. One I made into a dragon, put zipper teeth on him, and they were all little toy puppet things. Oh, all the teachers started taking them then. And I sent him a letter for a joke.
Yeah.
And it said, it was Chuck Sater at the time. And I said, "Dear Chuck, we just want to appreciate, we want you to know how much we appreciate your donation." I had the name on there. Said, "We are a poor group and we give stuff to people and we really appreciate it. You sent me all of these and they weren't even used. So we didn't have to put them in the dishwasher." And I wrote him this letter. I made up his fake address, 666 something, and he loved it. And it was in the cook's book. When I retire one of these days, Tom has already told me, says, "You can stay and work part-time if you want."
You going to?
He's going to let me hire somebody for 6 months to train him.
Good.
But I just don't feel like a lot of people are raised the way that we are now. Add that with the work ethics. I was raised to work when I was growing up, I really was. You got to have that, and you got to like it. And I love this job, or I wouldn't have been here this long. Some people just don't want to mess with it. They'll throw it away, and it's a shame. They can't imagine the things we can really use here.
And that's our show. We'd love to hear what it made you think about. Send us an email or a voice memo through the contact tab on our website, wfiu.org/interstates, or get in touch on Facebook or Instagram. And if you like the show, give us a rating and review on your favorite podcast app. It's supposed to help other people find it. And hey, tell us what you've been up to while you listen. Like, maybe you've been trying to figure out your next business venture, since it turned out the artichokes didn't like the northern Indiana winters. And you've got this land, and there really aren't any water parks for miles. So you decided to look into it, travel around, see how other people have developed water parks on a shoestring, which is pretty much what's left after the artichoke debacle. So you headed to Montana, just outside of Glacier National Park, where a woman named Rhonda Carlotta has a famous in the industry water park she built solo, by hand. And you were asking how she made all the slides, and she said,
"This is just toilet paper tubes, paper towel tubes, any kind of plastic tubes like this."
And you thought, great, now I just need to find a source. And on your drive back, you turned on Interstates, and there was Mary Hunter, pointing out you needed to be a nonprofit for most of what she was offering. And that's how you decided to build the nation's first water park with no admissions fees. Good on you, and good luck. We want to hear about it. Okay, we've got your quick moment of slow radio coming up, but first, the credits. Interstates is produced and edited by me, Alex Chambers. Our associate producers are Dom Hyab and Carl Templeton. Our social media master is Jillian Blackburn. We get support from Eobon Binder, Natalie Ingalls, Luann Johnson, Sam Schemenauer, Peyton Whaley, Lisa Robin Young, and Kate Young. Our executive producer is Eric Bolstridge. Our theme song is by Amy Olsner and Justin Vollmer. We have additional music from the Sounds of Materials at the Waste Reduction District. All right, time for some found sounds. That was, you might have guessed, the Waste Reduction District's plastic compactor. Until next week, I'm Alex Chambers. Thanks, as always, for listening.
Riding back at the top of the hunter's moon. See airplanes like stars slinging. Subliminal, we make the rounds and soon